Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing alright, or maybe better than that. I'm doing fine. Had some time off for holiday and also in between a lot of customer work, so not a lot of time to make videos or for my own projects. But I got some exciting news that I want to share with you guys, and that is because I got a new big lathe, Okuma LS. And the lathe that I was using for most of my work was the Shaoblin 102 VM, a really nice Swiss quality machine. I really love how smooth it runs, but for some work it's just too small for me, or it takes too much time. So I was on the lookout for a bigger lathe, and I was looking for a Japanese machine. First because I love Japan and I love the quality machines they make, and yeah, all the cool kids are getting one, so I couldn't stay behind. And I was on the lookout for one, maybe Saikimori or Okuma or Tashikawa, and then this machine came along at a Dutch auction, and it was in Rotterdam. It was a little bit risky because I wasn't able to see the machine up front, so it was a blind bid, but it was a good price and I bid on it and I bought it. So that was really exciting, and yeah, I had to reorganize the shop a little bit, move some machines, and when I had the wall empty, I decided to paint it because yeah, I wanted to have a little bit cleaner shop, and I was getting annoyed about the dirty wall. So a good time to paint the walls and then to bring home the machine. I was lucky that my nephew wanted to join me. Big thanks, Peter. Really big thanks. And we drove through Rotterdam to Rotterdam. It's a 3-hour drive, and we picked up the lathe, or first look at the lathe. Yeah, if you see me smiling like this, then it's a good sign. So the lathe was in pretty good condition, so that was good. We got some heavy equipment to bring it home on the trailer, and at the end of the day we got it in my shop. So I was really happy with that. Everything worked great, everything worked safe, so really nice. So yeah, let's check out the machine. The Okuma LS was made in Japan, but it was also sold in Korea with the badge Dongyang, but it was not clear if that was under license of Okuma, but it's exactly the same machine. And the Okuma LS was quite popular, but yeah, it was interesting that I couldn't find a lot of videos about it. The machine itself, it came in 3 different length sizes and 2 different heights. So the height was 450 millimeters or 540 swing on the chuck. This is the 540 version, and for the distance between centers it has 3 options: 880, 1250 or 1500 millimeters, and this is the shortest version, 880, and this machine weighs then around 2300 kilos. The machine itself, it came with the 7.5 or 10 horsepower motor. This is a 10 horsepower, so quite a strong motor for this machine, and it's nice to have a lot of power. It's heavily built, really solid, to do heavy work, but also to do more precise work. RPM range from 35 till 1800, and spindle itself, it has a Morse taper 6 and a tailstock Morse taper 4, and it has a American style A16 short taper to mount the chuck. So I will leave the machine on the wooden pallet so I can pull it off the wall, because I still need to do some work at the back of the machine. But yeah, just check out the machine, see how it works. Speed adjustment, if it is. Yeah. The waist seems to be in good condition. Few tiny spots, but not too bad. But cross slide is kind of stiff, so I need to check that out. Nice big hand wheel. And I really love this tailstock because it runs very smooth, just like a fidget spinner. And look at it. Woo, nice. And it has a quick adjustment. So you don't have to use the hand rule all the time. The tailstock uses the Morse Taper 4, and I found a nice Morse Taper 4 ROM live center on the internet, so that has nice solid fit. The tailstock is quite heavy, but once you loosen it, it has roller bearings, so it can roll on bearings and not slide on the ways. So the first start is still a little bit heavy, but after that it runs quite smooth. So that's a really nice design. The original paint was this light gray. Paint job was not too good, and also on the other side the original paint is peeling off a little bit, so maybe give it a new paint job, I don't know. First I want to start using it. It looks a little bit dirty, but other than that everything looks alright. There's a gear here. I'm not sure if it's original because it's not metal. Don't know what material it is. And the belts are, it looks more like emergency belts. So I will see how that runs. Maybe it's too much noise and I will change it for new belts. Oil pump is down there, and it has a filter on top here, and it should be cleaned every 3 months, I think, says the manual. So we'll check that out. Haven't checked the oil, so we'll do that first before I run it. So everything looks alright in here. No chips. quite clean. See the oil lines. Everything runs. Give you guys a look on how the shifting works. So this handle needs to be down, and then you have two speeds that you select with this lever. And if I rotate this one, you cannot rotate it while it's turning, but here you can see the shifting mechanism. Here's something I like. For the oil lines, every line has its own center marks to keep it oriented if you want to rebuild it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So nice details. The electrical system was checked in Germany, so maybe the machine comes from Germany. Also, this is also written in German, so yeah, maybe it's a German machine. And last check was 2018, so the next check would be 19. So yeah, at least it looks like the machine came from work. It even had some chips in it and not too much rust, just a little bit on here, but everything else seems to be okay, and even the waist still had some oil, so that's good. Yeah, well, at least it was used. Yeah. Nice. This handle is bent. Not sure that it's original. I don't think so. It's for changing the gears. Or fast or free spin. But it doesn't look original. And also this knob here is for oil pump, but you can also see it's bent. And under there you can see a little bit damage from transport. So I think the machine was transported from Germany to the Netherlands to Rotterdam, and guys from the auction were not too really careful about transport. So I was lucky that it's still in one piece, I think. Power on, power off, coolant pump, and all the wires seems to be in good condition. There was even a wiring diagram inside the electrical cabinet. The cabinet itself and the wires looked alright, so we'll try to give it a spin, hook it up. So I put a new connector on there, but I ran into some problem because as soon as I connected, the leak earth circuit breaker leak earth, don't know, goes out, so it's triggered, and that is because on this old machine the 0 and the earth line are connected on the same point. So for all the machines that was more common, and you can even see here in the drawing that there's only 4 wires, so no 0 line, only earth and the 3-phase wires. So what they did is they connected, but then as soon as there is just a little bit of power on there, the earth line will disconnect. I'm not sure how it worked. Maybe the system was different where they were used it. Other than that, it looks quite alright, but there are a few modifications. There's a lamp connected in here and some other wires, but interesting, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that. If there's enough light. No, wait, I will turn the light on. So here you can see the motor, and behind it there's another, it looks like a motor, but I think it's a brake, because the machine itself didn't have a brake, and they made a update in the drawing, and it said bremswachter. So I think they upgraded that, so I had to look on the schedule how everything works, because I did test it without connecting the 0 line, because that should work for 3-phase only, but somehow then the motor wouldn't do a soft start but would kick in a full power, and also it wasn't able to stop, and the only way to stop it was to switch the power completely off. And normally you can switch it by the handle in front, but then it went to full power in the other direction, so that was not good, no fun. You see there are very big relays that will connect the power, and there are 4, and you can see these here on the drawing. So one is in so I think here is the different connection for the soft start of the motor, but yeah, somehow it has some problem, so I think I need to get a more expert guy in here to have a look, because yeah, this is not my cup of tea, and I don't want to mess with it too much, because yeah, this stuff is dangerous, and I don't want to get 3-phase 400 volts running through my body. It won't do a soft start in counterclockwise rotation, and I have to stop it on the control panel. So somewhere in the electrical system there's something wrong. So after some more testing with the wires, I switched to phases to switch the direction, and now the machine looks to run the way it should run. It has the soft start, And also the brake, you can hear and see the brake, it stops quite fast, especially at slow speed. The only problem that is still there, it doesn't have the stop start in clockwise rotation. And it doesn't have the brake in clockwise rotation. I don't know if that is a problem that is somewhere in the system that can be fixed, or that is something that did change when they mounted the electrical brake. I don't know, I don't have the expertise for that, but for now I'm happy with the way it works. Even at 1800 RPM you can hear and see the soft start, and the brake, it doesn't brake until stop, but there's quite a lot of mass. But you can imagine now doing clockwise, it will hit full power, 10 horsepower all at once in clockwise rotation. So I'm not wanting to do that. I think it's bad for the machine. So if I need to use it, and I don't use that a lot, but if I need to use it in high speed clockwise rotation, then I will switch to phases again. It's a little bit annoying, but I don't think I will use that a lot at high speed. So I will leave it the way it is right now, and I'm happy with it. So let's show you guys how the cross feed works. This is for turning threads, and you have the connector over here, the lever for switching between metric and imperial, and this is for normal turning, and here you can select different speeds. And also with this two A or B, C and D, then there are different speeds per revolution, and this is switching between normal turning and thread turning. So for the power feed, this is the normal lever for engaging the power feed, and this is for the threads. This is a knob for extra oil pump, and this one will switch between the normal slide and the cross slide, and this one will switch between half speed and full speed, 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 speed, so you can switch from roughing to finishing without changing the gears on the machine. So that's quite a nice feature. So full speed, half speed, there's only one thing I don't really like about the machine in the design, is with the power feed, and it's the same problem Kaleem had with this Morisaki. Is for the normal C direction, it moves towards the chuck. I would say that's for normal use, but in that gear setting, the top slide will move from the center to the outside, like this. and the only way to change the direction, stop the spindle, switch the lever, so that's, I don't really understand why they built it like this. It's the same for the Moriseke and the Okuma, so it's something in the design. And I think they did it on purpose and not because they had to. But I don't understand it, and I think it's quite annoying to change the between Z direction and X direction for the power feed and stop the spindle. Because most times I will use it from the outside to the inside for the X direction. So yeah, if you guys have any more information why they built that, then let me know. This tool post is original. It's nice and solid, hardened steel, but there are two things that I don't like. It's a 4-way, so that's one thing that's nice. But you have to set the tool height with shims, and that's quite annoying, I think. And the other thing is you cannot fix it at any position in between. And for normal use I use the tools only at 90 degrees, but if I want to rotate the compound at an angle, then I want to be able to set the tool at the correct angle, and that's not possible with this tool post holder. So maybe I will change it in the future for a multi-fix style with height adjustment. The other thing is my tools are only used for the Shaolin, so they're way too small, so I need to get some bigger tools, because yeah, it's a nice heavy machine and I want to do some heavy cuts, and then I need appropriate tools for that. The chuck is from Forkhart and it's 250 millimeters, but it didn't came with the chuck key. It's 14 millimeter square internal, so I ordered a new one, but it's too big to fit. So let's put it in a lathe and take something off. Yep, good fit. And I can spin it by hand. That's a good sign. I hope. So this chuck has an interesting system that I haven't seen before, but maybe it's common. It has a very small range, and you see this pin here. when it comes out. There are knobs here on the top, and you can press it, and then you can pull out the jaw and can put it in at any space, and it only has a straight teeth, so it can go in both directions. And if you rotate it back, you will see the pin goes in again, and then the teeth here will show up, and then the pin comes out again, and this is also the maximum range. So there's a lot of force on the jaws, but not a lot of reach, but it's easy to adjust, because just turn it until the pin comes out, and then maybe a little bit more, and then take out the jaws. I think I will have to get more used to this, because it's not easy to fine adjust. Never leave the chuck key in, guys. By the way, the lathe is not connected. The jaws do tip a little bit backwards, so it's open here in the back. Maybe they're worn, or it's just this system, don't know. But yeah, it's nice and solid here in the back, but I think it needs some work to get it nice and straight. Maybe I need to grind the jaws again. First chips. Not a pretty one, but first chip. Oh yeah, finally got a lathe that can cut some decent chips. Nice C's or 6s. Alright guys, that was it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. It was quite a random video, but I think that's what happens if you buy a new lathe. You run around quite randomly. Still, hope you enjoyed it. I do plan to do an oil change and some more testing with the machine, and I will make a video about that. So if you want to see that and haven't subscribed, then please do so and support my channel a little bit. Other than that, I am quite active on Instagram lately, a little bit more than on YouTube. Did a small series about the Okuma universal tool making machine, and also all smaller updates in my shop I will post on Instagram. So if you want to check that out, then please do. It's about Okuma, and I will put a link in the description. Last thing that I wanted to say at least one time in one of my videos, I do realize, and I know some of you guys even commented that I do say a lot of in my talking, and yeah, English, it's not my language, and I hope you guys understand that. I can speak Dutch, I can speak German, no problem, but English is still a little bit difficult for me. So every time I'm looking for words, and especially for technical terms, then I will just looking for words in my head and saying to fill in the gaps. I try to get it out of my system, but it's really hard. So yeah, be patient. I will hope to improve it. So I see you guys in 2 years for that. But for now, still hope you guys enjoyed it and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.